is it Mayer or Mayer? Michael Mayer as constable, and he's been constable for a while.
About 6 or 7 years, I think.
Okay.
now.
All right.
Make a motion to appoint Michael Mayer Senior as constable.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. And then, Mike, I'll let you comment a little bit on this one, because this is a kind of a important one, the appointment of Paul DiGiuseppe as Planning and Economic Development Director.
So, after a lengthy time without a planning and economic development director, Paul DiGiuseppe is going to come back to Norton with a start date of April 16th. So we're glad to have him back in the position, and look forward to things moving forward on the planning board.
That's great news. Any questions on that appointment?
I think it's great, he's already familiar with the town and,
Yeah, I think, I'm sorry,
yeah, no, so
Yeah,
it's
I
great.
think- Paul did a fantastic job when he was here, and we were sad to lose him when he had to leave, but unless there's more comments, I'd happily make the motion to appoint Paul DiGiuseppe as the planning director with a start date effective April 16th, 2024. I'm sorry, planning and economic development director.
Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, congratulations to Paul and welcome back. We don't have any minutes to approve.
On the licenses and permits,
Yep, go ahead.
the first one, can you wait until you do the others? Because he's trying to log on, and he doesn't really need to be on.
Okay. So you want me to slow down, that's what you're telling me there? All right. Okay, so we'll skip to the second item, which is discussion and or vote to approve this, the special event application for Ragnar Events. And I think Tammy Herschel is
Tammy is on.
online, okay?
Yep.
Hi, how are you? Thank you for having me.
Hi Tammy, so maybe you could just kind of give everybody just a quick overview of what this event is and what the application is for.
Of course. My name is Tammy Herschel. I'm a race director for Ragnar Events. We host overnight running relays across the country, and the one that we have coming up on May 17th and 18th runs through New England. We actually start in Groton, Connecticut, and then run through Rhode Island, finishing up at Swanton Point Park in Quincy, Massachusetts. We have been working with, this is, I believe, the third year. So this is the first year that I am in charge of this event, but we've been in the New England area for, this will be our third year. And we have been working with Norton Middle School to serve as one of our major exchange points, as well as the gym at Norton to serve as a minor exchange point, where everyone that we've been working with so far, both of those locations have been amazing. We actually hosted an activation kind of to talk to gym members at the gym at Norton during a recent Porsche drive in February. But it's essentially like they're teams of 12. They are kind of leapfrogging. One runner runs, anywhere from 5 to 7 miles, and then they drop that run. They pick that runner up and drop off another, and then they continue like that, relay style across 200 miles. We are projected to be in the Norton area between around 10 p.m. Friday evening through about 6 a.m. on Saturday morning.
Okay. All right, and we've had this event, I think she mentioned for 3 years. We haven't had any issues or anything, so it's great. It sounds like a great event. Does anybody have any questions for Tammy on the board?
What time did you say you get to the area on Friday evening?
So Friday evening we will be running into the area around 10 p.m. and then the runners run it's overnight, so they will be running from 10 p.m. till about 6 a.m. We'll have porta potties dropped off at the school earlier in the evening, but after dismissal. And we have been working with the gym to stay open and allow their locker rooms to be available to runners for facilities as well as the juice bar. I think they normally close at 8, but they're going to have a staff member stay open a little bit later so that we can accommodate some of our the gym. And if, I believe I submitted, like projected route information as well, if anybody had any questions about the route. Like I'm in Florida, so, I might trip up on some road names as I'm still kind of familiarizing myself with the specifics of the intersections of the roadways and whatnot, but, everyone has, when I've had questions about, the area and whatnot, has been very helpful. I believe we're primarily on sidewalks throughout all of Orange.
Great, thank you.
Okay, any other questions or comments, concerns? Okay, then I will entertain a motion to vote to approve the special events application of Ragnar Events LLC for the Ragnar Relay New England from 10 p.m. Friday, May 17th, 2024 to 6 a.m. Saturday, May 18th, 2024.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, Tammy, you're all set. Go back to your probably beautiful weather in Florida.
Thank you so much. I'll see you guys soon. Take care.
Thank you. All right, and we could probably get this other one out too.
Lefty is on now.
Oh, we want to do him? All right, we can do, actually, we'll do these two. We'll do these two, and then we'll do the public hearing. Okay, all right. So first up is a vote to approve the special events parking permit for Shane Bravetti for 36 parking spaces at 260 Mansfield Ave from May 1st to October 1st, 2024. So Shane, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Do you want to just kind of give us the quick overview and some background, please?
Just looking to renew my parking permit that we've been doing parking now for, almost 40 years. I think when the Great Woods first opened back in about 1986, we started a few years after that, me and my grandfather. And just looking to do our usual thing every year.
Okay. Does anybody have any questions for Shane? No? And this signed off by everybody and all that kind of stuff, just because I know.
He submitted a plan of the parking as he does every year, and,
Okay.
So in the packet, it wasn't signed off yet by police, I don't think, right?
he may have.
Just gonna say we should make it contingent
Yeah.
upon, right, yeah.
Okay. All right, we will do that. All right, so
I
I'll
just
just,
had a question. There was something added about a special provision by the police department. Do you guys see anything about that, what that entails?
did you hear anything about that?
It was one of the notes that was listed on the new online portal that I had to do the permit through.
Hold on, we're checking, Shane. Hang on.
Thank you.
I don't see anything. I just saw that it was pending the police, or it says active.
There's nothing else.
On the
No details.
portal, it said approved but pending special provision by the
Oh.
North Police Department, and I didn't understand what that meant.
I think it needs Chief Clark to just sign off on it.
Not either. I think, it's the standard, whatever they did, I'll get it for you tomorrow, what he's looking for, but I would imagine it's, go ahead, Deputy Rob.
Shane, right?
Yeah.
Shane, Deputy Chief Robbins. I believe that I'm assuming that it's probably the parking plan layout, the provisions, whether or not you may need a detail officer for certain events. That standard that you have to do every year, potentially.
Okay,
If you saw something on a chat, it may be an internal chat on the permitting system, and that might be why the select board and the town manager can't see that.
All right.
All right, so what we're gonna do is we're just gonna approve the application, Shane, with the contingent that it's, contingent on the police department final sign off.
Thank you.
All right? All right,
I will make a motion to approve the special events parking permit application of Shane Gravetti of 36 parking spaces at 260 Mansfield Ave from May 1st, 2024 to October 1st, 2024, contingent upon approval by the police department.
Second.
okay. We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. All right, Shane, you're all set.
Thank you, appreciate you guys.
All right, thank you.
Happy Easter.
All right, and then, the last one we'll do is, the change of hours for Alberto's.
Yeah.
So do you wanna come up and just let us know what the request is for, please? And introduce yourself, of course.
Hi guys, my name is Carlos Ortez. Now I'm owner of Alberto, and we just like to extend the hours to 1 o'clock, and just
And what are you open to now, till midnight,
no to 10.
till 10?
Yeah.
Okay, all right,
Yeah, so
okay.
that's.
And is this, how many days a week would it be open till 1 AM?
No, actually we're not open to 1. Just like sometimes now we open to 9, we go to 10.
Yeah.
But sometimes we just sub to 10, and some people stay in the bar a little later than that, so we like to extend the hours to
Okay,
normal.
Okay.
But, yeah.
all right. Anybody have any other questions?
Yes, Peter Wiggins, Mayor Norton, and I love Alberto's, and I love the food, and I love the people there.
Yeah, they're great people, and we happy to serve Norton, and I'm happy to anybody else. So, so I just hope
That's like making Timmy McCarthy proud.
Yeah, exactly. He was just want to make everybody happy and get more people in.
All right, does anybody have any other questions? Concerns,
I
guys?
just understand that, so that's gonna be open till 1 every day, or just
No,
as
no, no.
needed?
No, we the night is gonna be open till 10, but
Yeah,
I don't know why it was only to the license stay open to 10 o'clock.
yeah,
And like the normal, everybody have to 1 o'clock, and the time just apply. again.
Right, gotcha, so you're just updating the license,
Update the license. yeah.
because if you do stay open till 1, or you can't because the license says you
Yep,
have to,
mhm,
gotcha,
yep.
okay. All right, so are you planning to change the hours to 1, or
No.
you're not, you're
No.
gonna keep it at
Yeah,
10?
yeah.
Gotcha,
Yep.
okay, all right,
okay,
all right, okay.
just don't want to boot people out.
Yes, yeah, yeah,
All right,
all right. Okay, any further questions? All right, I'll entertain a motion then to approve the application for a change of hours of operation regarding Alberto's Pizza and Pub located at 241 Mansfield Avenue in Norton.
so my only comment, is this one I think is contingent upon police approval as well?
Same.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So I make a motion to approve the application for the change of hours of operation regarding Alberto's Pizza and Pub, Inc., located at 241 Mansfield Avenue, Norton, Mass. Contingent upon approval by the police department.
Second.
Okay, any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right,
Thank you.
you're all set. Thank you. All right, and now I will take a motion to open the, I'll entertain a motion to open the public hearing on the application of Alnylam US Incorporated to amend its current license for above ground and warehouse storage of flammable liquids as required per Massachusetts Fire Code 527 CMR 1 as amended for flammable liquid storage greater than 10,000 gallons, property located at 20 Commerce Way, Norton, Mass, and identified on Assessor's Map 25, parcel 84.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. All right, so I wanted to have Melissa Rouleau. Did I get that right?
You did perfectly, thank you.
So Melissa, if you would come up and just kind of give us the overview. We have all the paperwork and everything in our agenda packet, so if you could just
Terrific.
kind of give us the overview, that'd be great.
Thank you very much, really appreciate it. Thank you, Select Board, for putting us on your agenda for today. I will introduce myself, Melissa Rouleau. I am the Senior Director of Manufacturing at Alnylam Pharmaceuticals, based in this site at Norton, 20 Commerce Way, as was just mentioned. I've been with the company for just under 5 years. I have a number of my colleagues with me as well from Alnylam, so thanks guys. We actually have one Alnylam employee who is a Norton resident here, Chris Hughes. And as was mentioned earlier, we're here to discuss an amendment of our application for a license for storing flammable chemicals at our site that is in the industrial park near the Taunton town line in Norton. I want to give a brief overview of the company for those of you who may not be familiar with Alnylam Pharmaceuticals. I am respectful of your time. I don't want to take too long, so I'll try to move pretty quickly through this presentation, but if there are any questions, please feel free to stop me and ask. I'll also give a brief overview of the manufacturing operation in Norton and talk a little bit about what we do there. And then we'll get into the heart of the matter with the amendment for the flammable license. So Alnylam Pharmaceuticals is a global pharmaceutical company. It has been in business for more than 20 years. It was founded and is headquartered in Massachusetts. Our corporate offices are in Cambridge, in the Kendall Square area. We do have more than 2,000 employees worldwide. And we have a portfolio of products. We have a number of commercial products that are approved by the FDA and other international regulatory agencies. In addition to that, we have a very healthy clinical pipeline where we're developing a number of drugs for treatment of diseases. All of these drug products that we're working on, whether they're approved or in development, are based on SI, small interfering RNA technology, oligonucleotides. It's based on Nobel Prize winning technology, and the process for manufacturing the active ingredient in these drugs is a chemical synthesis process that requires use of solvents and flammable chemicals. Moving on to our next slide, page 5, a very high-level overview of the complex supply chain that is required for pharmaceutical production. The Norton plant is depicted here at the beginning of that supply chain. We manufacture the active ingredient in Norton for clinical programs. We're not doing commercial production in the Norton plant. Alnylam has been working with the town for a number of years. The site at Commerce Way was selected in 2015, predating me joining the company. And we produced our first batch in 2020 during COVID. It was pretty challenging, but we've done it. We've got a great team in Norton, and the company is making a lot of investments in that site. To talk a little bit more specifically about the site, moving on to slide 7, we have a photograph of the front of our beautiful building at 20 Commerce Way. In the middle of that photograph, you can see Train 1, which is the part of the building where we're currently operational. And again, the current process does use flammable chemicals for which we have an existing license. In addition, we have room to grow our business. There's a shelf space shown on the photograph to the left, where we have Train 2. We have an existing flammables warehouse, which we'll show in an overhead plan diagram later on in the slides. I'm not going to read all of the details of the slides here, but I did want to mention that we have expanded since we opened, since we made our first batch in 2020. We're doing 7-day-a-week manufacturing operations, 2 shifts of manufacturing, and we have 24/7 security at the building and a 24/7 presence of our facilities team. At the bottom, you can see photographs of our dedicated and diverse workforce. Again, there's Chris. Chris is everywhere. We're really proud to be recognized as the Boston Globe's, one of the Boston Globe's top places to work in multiple years. We do have multiple Norton residents employed at the site, and we really care about the work that we do there and the patients who can benefit from the medicines that we produce. And we care a lot about the community that we're a part of. On the next slide, we have a couple of highlights, examples of our community outreach. For those of you who are familiar with the Cupboard of Kindness, we have a very strong relationship there. We send people there at least once a month to help with unloading trucks. You may have seen in the Sun Chronicle back in December that there's a Habitat for Humanity project. We are a corporate sponsor for that project. We actually have a number of folks going May 16th and 18th to help with that house build. We have an annual corporate community service day where employees have donated a number of their hours for community service. And we're very engaged with the community. I personally have been to a number of programs at the Norton Public Schools for STEM careers. We've been to Bridgewater State University, and we're looking forward to some future opportunities with Wheaton College. So that's a little background about the company and about the site in Norton. Moving on to the heart of the matter, why are we here today? As I mentioned, we are actively in manufacturing, and to support that, we have a license for storing flammable chemicals at the site. We have built out in an existing space, additional storage space for additional flammable storage. So if you look at this overhead plan view, the warehouse space is sort of in the top left in that light blue rectangle. There's an existing room there. It's not called out specifically, where we're currently storing flammable solvents. Down toward the left side where you see the star, there's a newly built out space that was fitted out to meet the requirements for flammable storage. We've built out that space, and we're seeking a license to start using it for its intended purpose, storing flammables. In order to do that, we do need to amend our license to increase the amount of material that we're able to store at the site. So on slide 11, the drivers for this application. First of all, it does provide us some logistical flexibility for the ongoing current operations at the plant. And we're also planning for success of our site. We intend to increase our run rate in Train 1, and we want to enable the potential for future expansion at the site. So to that end, we have applied for an amended license, which has been submitted. It's been reviewed and approved by Norton Fire Chief. We do have a binder, a hard copy, I'm not sure where that is, that has the details of the application. We have identified the abutters and we have notified them. And the design and the as-built condition of this flammable storage warehouse space has been evaluated by Jensen Hughes, which is an engineering and consulting firm that specializes in safety. And we have representatives from Jensen Hughes here tonight with us.
Hello, my name is Tanya Glumack. I'm a registered fire protection engineer. I live in Massachusetts. I've been in the fire protection industry for about 18 years and have worked on the design of facilities that are similar to Elm Island. At the request of the Norton Fire Department, we were brought on, Jensen Hughes was brought on to evaluate this facility for the purposes of this license amendment. Just a little more background, talking about what we discovered. The site was constructed as 3 distinct buildings that are separated by firewalls. All the buildings are protected by automatic sprinklers that are supplied by an on-site fire water storage tank and 2 fire pumps. The first is primary, the second is backup for redundancy. There's also an on-site fire water containment tank that would capture any sprinkler water that was be discharged during a fire scenario. We reviewed design documents for the facility, we conducted a site survey, and we concluded that the facility is provided with the code required protections that are needed for the storage and use of the hazardous materials that are detailed on the license amendment. So we walked through all of the areas where the hazardous materials would be, and we reviewed the protections and signed off on that. I'll leave it at that unless you have questions for me specifically.
I just wanted to clarify, you used the flammability, safety, correct? Not like spills and stuff like that?
Both, actually. So the building code and fire code have different protections required depending on storage or use, depending on whether it's flammable or corrosive. And we looked at the specific chemicals that were in each space, what protections would be required, and found that they were provided. So part of that is spill containment. So when you have large quantities of hazardous materials, you need to prepare to contain both the hazardous materials and the sprinkler runoff. And so that's what the fire water containment tank is for at this facility.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other questions for me?
Do you guys have any other questions for Melissa?
Just one question, what 30% increase in chemicals, is that correct?
I don't know the number off the top of my head. It's in the attachment in the amendment
Yeah,
application.
just roughly trying to add up in my head, it's about 30% increase. But okay.
Any other questions? All right, okay, thank you.
Thanks so
Melissa. We will open this up to any comments from anyone in the public who might be here. Any abutters or anything? No? Okay. And, oh, Melissa, one
Yes,
quick
sir.
question for you. Did you get any concerns from the abutters directly to you, or has it been relatively quiet?
Nothing directly to me. I don't know that public relations, we have a corporate public relations group. They have not reached out to me either. So as far as I know, no abutters have raised any concerns of any kind.
Okay, all right, thank you. Okay. Any other questions?
Maybe one I just thought of.
Go ahead.
Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
The existing site, was it built to handle this amount of expansion, or will there be other containment expansion and whatnot?
So the facility was designed with this expansion in mind. So the 3 distinct building portions that are there, the third one is this flammable warehouse, and the containment for a site needs to be designed for the worst case scenario. So it's designed for a single event, and this flammable storage warehouse, both the sprinkler design and what's stored inside would be considered the worst case, and the containment is designed for that.
So it was already designed for it, and fire chief has already gone through it
Right.
100%.
Do you want to come up? So I didn't mean to skip over you.
No, no. Believe me, I'm not insulted. As you've heard already, they pretty much touched on everything. When the building is originally built, they supplied their plans, everything like that. They have their engineers do it. Then back in, it's after 2015, 2018, 2019, we have a third party again come in and review it to make sure that everything their engineer says is what we agree with, and that third party, in a sense, represents us. Now, we've had them go and do it again. This time they've hired Jensen Hughes. They've come back with the same thing, that they have the space to do these chemicals. They have the containment process. With the permitting, Chris gets to deal with me a lot, or I get to deal with him. I'm not sure which is best. But we also have extensive training that they do with us that's required by their permit renewal every year with the department and stuff like that. So we go in, we go through and see some of the things like that. Again, they have an emergency action team that Chris gets to be part of amongst some of these other guys that come out immediately if there is an issue or anything like that. They also have another third-party vendor on site that can help them with hazardous materials and stuff that, when they're trained with that. So at this point, they're up to all code and requirements like that as we see it, and we don't have any issue with it.
Okay, great. Anybody have any questions for the deputy chief? All right.
So I need that.
All right, awesome, thank you.
I did have one more question for
Yeah.
Mr. Unix.
Yeah.
Is there any kind of security that we have, like we've used before in the past for building in case buildings abandoned, there's chemical spills or some kind of disaster that we have some kind of security bond?
I don't know if there is a security bond on the property. I don't think so. But
These guys also have to meet strict FDA requirements for producing what they produce, and they're held under EPA and DEP standards and stuff like that. So it's not, they can't really just go, so to speak, belly up and abandon the property without us being notified or anything like that.
Okay. All right. Okay, if we have no other comments or questions, I think we have to close the public hearing and then we take a vote, correct?
Yeah, I'll motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay, and then I will entertain a motion to approve the application of Alnylam US Incorporated to amend its current license for above ground and warehouse storage of flammable liquids as required per Massachusetts Fire Code for flammable liquid storage greater than 10,000 gallons at the property located at 20 Commerce Way, Norton, identified as Assessor's Map 25, Parcel 84.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, all right. Thank you,
Thank you
Melissa.
very much.
Yeah, thank you for coming. Thanks for everybody from Mount Island for coming. Appreciate it. And good luck with the expansion.
Thank you very much. Really
All right.
appreciate
Good
it.
luck. All right, so we'll, just in case, I didn't mean to skip over announcements. Does anybody have any, and we didn't have any listed in the agenda, but does anybody have any recent announcements that couldn't have possibly been on the agenda?
I do.
Okay, good.
I want to make mention of the passing of Anthony Medeiros, at 102 years of age. Norton resident, Navy veteran. He passed away March 23rd at Life Care Center in Rainham. He was a member of the VFW. Let's see, his funeral is this upcoming Wednesday.
World War II vet.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep, 102 years old. Yep, so God bless him. And also, Sergeant Kevin Schleicher of the Norton Police Department is graduated as a member of the 289th session of the FBI National Academy. The graduation took place at the National Academy in Quantico, Virginia on March 15th. Sergeant Schleicher is the 5th officer in department history to complete this prestigious program. Nationally, fewer than 1% of officers have the opportunity to attend this program. So,
That's awesome.
congratulations to Sergeant Kevin Schleicher.
Congrats.
That's awesome. All right. Thank you, Alec. Anybody else have any other announcements? I just have one, we might as well put it out there. There's an election coming up, so we'll try to get it as much publicity as possible. So the town election will be on April 27th at the middle school between the hours of 8 a.m. and 5 p.m.
Didn't we just do this last year?
All right. I feel like it was like a snap of the fingers.
And absentee ballots available.
I'm not sure.
We'll have Lucia come in and give us an update
Okay.
as we get closer, but yeah, so go vote. All right, next up is discussion or vote on the sidewalk recommendation from the traffic safety committee.
I don't think anyone needed it from the Traffic Safety Committee. I think what they're looking for is the support of the board. Oh, Alex. Oh, you both asked?
Yeah, we're just looking for the support. I don't know if we necessarily need to vote on this, but The concern is if we try to add that sidewalk portion on, then it might delay the project, and we don't wanna do that, so we wanna see if it's possible to reach out and say, don't stop the project, but can we add this to it, without stopping it?
I'll talk to the engineer and I'll talk to Serpent on that.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes total sense, right? If you're gonna do all that work, you might as well have the sidewalk connected.
Yeah, nobody knows why that wasn't included initially.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I thought as part of state projects, they had to have a sidewalk included if they were working on the road.
They don't make us do that.
Yeah. And only sometimes.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah, so, yeah, I think, straw poll seems to indicate that, like, yeah, if we could, see if we could do that without jeopardizing the timing, that'd be great. Okay, all right. Next up is, review, discuss, and vote on annual and special town meeting articles.
Well, I just wanted to see if you wanted to vote on some of the annual town meeting articles. The finance committee did vote on a few of them the other night. The finance committee voted on chapter 90, authorizing the town to expend any funds that are received under the chapter 90 program. And that was recommended by the finance committee. That's article 2.
I will entertain a motion. I said yes. Let's start this process. I'll entertain a motion to, recommend Article 2 for the annual town meeting warrant.
Can you clarify what chapter 90 is?
Sure. Go ahead.
Chapter 90 is the program from the state. Any work that we do, improvement on roadways, we do the work, and then the highway superintendent will submit an application to the state for payment for the work that we do. Our allotment this year is
556. Oh.
Do you have it with it?
Yeah, I saw that, at 556 or something. It's
Yeah.
basically the same as like the last two,
Something
right?
like The pool, the total pool hasn't really increased over the years, and it's adjusted by population, and our population didn't go up that much last year. It's road miles, population, employment in town, so we kind of stayed the same as last year because our population went up very little compared to other communities.
And so this is, just so I'm clear, this is to take the money that we received from the state and put it into the general fund? Is that what this is for?
No, any work that highway does, they submit like an invoice to the Mass Highway, and we get reimbursed for it.
So the article is to submit it, to receive it?
I think it's just to participate in the program.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
To be able to request and accept it.
Yeah.
And it's $546,159.94.
Yep. I just found out too.
All right. Any other questions? All right, so, thank you, Denise. Any other, so, I, again, entertain a motion to recommend Article 2, at the annual town meeting.
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay. Down.
The next article is Article 3, and the Finance Committee voted to recommend Article 3. This is seeking $31,000 from free cash for tree services. So this is for tree work that needs to be done near wires or trees that are too large for the highway department to take down. And this has been something they've been doing for a couple of years now. And the Finance Committee voted unanimously to recommend.
Any questions?
Is this a pretty consistent amount that we've used in the past?
Yes.
So this is this above and beyond sort of what, because National Grid does its own sort of tree
They do.
work as
Yeah.
well, so this
Yeah.
is sort of above and beyond what they'll do? Okay. All right. Okay, I'll take a motion to recommend Article 3 for our annual town meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Yeah, we have a motion and a second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Okay.
And the next article is Article 11. This is to reauthorize revolving funds that we have. And the funds that we have right now are 237 Mansfield Ave, the Wendell Jackson Property Revolving Fund. and the maximum spending limit in a year out of that is 60,000. The forestry revolving fund with a maximum spending limit of 30,000. Home composting bin distribution program revolving fund with a spending limit of 2,000. Recycling revolving fund spending limit with a request of 20,000. That is being increased from 10,000 was the maximum they could spend, but I guess because the program is a success, where people come down to the highway department and bring items down there and pay to have deposit those items, which that money goes into the revolving fund, and then this would take money out of the revolving fund up to a maximum of 20,000 a year to pay companies to take those items away. Someone said, isn't this similar to that article that we give them to dispose of the stuff they pick up on the side of the road? I said, no, this is actually to get rid of the stuff that legitimate people actually pay for and deposit at the highway department. The next one is certified hazardous materials technician revolving fund with a spending limit of 10,000. Council on Aging revolving fund, spending limit was, we want to go to 15,000, I believe it was 10,000 before.
That's what I have, 10,000.
Yeah. And this is a fund, stormwater bylaw revolving fund, maximum spending limit of 100,000. There's no money in this account, and I want to review this with the planning board. This was set up with the intent, when a subdivision comes in nowadays, they're required to put in detention areas, and we're stuck maintaining those detention areas once we maintain the roads. So this would be to, when a developer comes in, have them put some money into this fund, so if there is maintenance required year after year, like there usually is, we'd have a fund to take that money out rather than using our budget. And then Camp Edith Reed has a spending limit of 60,000. So there's only two that have changed, the rest are standard. And the finance committee voted unanimously to recommend.
So Mike, just so I understand, this is all money that these different, I guess, areas receive money in.
Yep.
And this is what they can spend. The one that doesn't have money received in is the stormwater.
Yes.
And so what do they use the money for? Go back, where does it go? Where does money go that they're using?
These
limits
different
for?
funds?
Yeah.
So, like the Mansfield Ave property, if we have to do any work on the house itself, say we had to do roof repairs or any other structural improvements to the house or repairs, this money would be used for that. Then like which was the other one? A forestry revolving fund. So once in a while, they have forestry companies come in and clear some of the trees in the town forest, and they pay for that, and so that money would go into this fund. Whoever's getting the lumber would pay to take those trees out, and this money would be used for anything else they have to do in the town forest, on trails or things like that.
Can we make that much money or more in a year?
I don't know the last time someone was out there. The forestry fund right now only has about $1,400 in it.
So they can't spend more than what they've taken in anyway.
You're right.
And
This
this
is
is
just, if they had the money, they could spend up to that.
Right.
Yeah, this is just an authorizing up to a certain limit.
The one with the most money in it right now is the Jackson property. The balance is $51,000, but they can't spend more than $60,000 a year, so.
Gotcha.
And just to emphasize again, that highway recycling, if anyone in town has things they have to get rid of, check out the highway department website, the days they're open, and it's a great program to be able to get rid of things.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, great. Any other questions? All right. I will entertain a motion to recommend Article 11 for the annual town meeting.
So moved.
Second.
All right, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right.
Alright, the other two articles that, 27 and 28, OPEB and stabilization, the finance committee figures there's not gonna be any money to put in OPEB or stabilization in May, so why don't we just remove them from the warrant to make it easier? So if the board votes to remove those two articles, we'll pull those off the warrant.
Let's sit together.
We could.
Oh.
Why not?
I will make a motion to remove Article 27 OPEB funding and Article 28 stabilization.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right,
That's all they dealt with, so.
okay. I think it makes sense to wait for their recommendation on any of the other stuff, so. Okay. Next up is I don't have any topics not reasonably anticipated. Anybody else have anything? No? All right, then moving on to the budget update.
Everything's fine.
Everything's fine with the budget. All right, moving on.
I gave you tonight, so at the finance committee the other night, I just mentioned that the superintendent and myself were kind of looking for some direction from the finance committee, what they'd be willing to use for revenue and funding. And the finance committee made it pretty clear they don't want to use any stabilization. And they asked me, well, what would that do to budgets? I said, well, that leaves us with 1%. And they said, well, that's what you gotta do. So the budget, I still had 36,000 to cut out of ours, so I'm almost there. But I gave you a draft to see where we are right now. And I did meet with all the department heads today to go over all the cuts. And though they're disappointed, they're understanding. And I asked them to go through all those cuts, make sure that there's nothing that's cut that would prevent them from doing what they're supposed to be doing, would prevent them from doing their work. And they're gonna do that. And I told them I still have 36,000 to go, so if you can think of some things that you don't necessarily, that even though you were cut, if there's something there that you really don't think you need, you know, that you're willing to do away with before I have to cut some more. Although and we'll see what happens with that. And the, you know, one other option is to right now reduce the reserve fund, the FinCom reserve fund by 36,000. But we'll see what we can find before then, and then go forward.
Okay. All right. Does anybody have any questions on, I mean, I know we have a lot of questions on the budget, but any questions tonight on the budget?
I'm gonna say mine for the 11th.
Right, so that's a good
Yeah.
point, Steve. So we are gonna have another joint meeting with the school committee and the finance committee and the select board on April 11th, so.
Yeah, I have many questions. I'll save them for the 11th primarily, but
Okay.
I will ask again if we could see like a 5-year plan out of what the projected budgets will look like based on contractual obligations, and also the tax rate of that for the same 5 years.
All right.
I know we're working on it. I know the superintendent is trying to work on that, so.
And I saw on their agenda for tonight, they're talking about the contract renewal. Is that for teachers?
Yeah.
They do have some that are up
That's
this
something
year.
to rip this year? Okay. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, and any kind of like, I know that came up at the last meeting, any kind of looking forward plan for, you know, not that it's gonna be, you know, we're gonna hold anybody to a 5-year estimate of, 5-year plan, but to try to get some idea of what we're looking at as we go forward, so that'd be great. All right.
One last question. Do
Yeah.
you have a financial planning document or
Policy.
policy?
Yep,
Can I see that?
sure.
Yeah, I know FinCom has talked about updating that recently, so, but yeah. We do have one.
I'd love to look at it.
All right. Okay. All right, and then, building projects update.
So, we have a walkthrough on Tuesday. So we've had, building committee, some members of the select board come through the buildings, and they're moving along well over there at the town hall. And also at the senior center, there's a lot of action over there now, so, moving along well. I don't know if you guys had any impressions when you walked through.
From the building committee meeting on Monday, it seems that the senior center is still going a little slow and past, we believe it's gonna pass the deadline. But yeah, the walkthrough of the town hall, I think it's coming along fantastically. And unfortunately, you guys weren't there, but me and Al had our offices first, so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the little ones, right? You left us the bigger ones, is that right?
Basement.
Yeah. And Mike's office is like enormous.
It's the whole top floor.
Yeah.
He's got a suite, yeah.
Smaller than I have.
I was actually shocked where the town manager's office, where his is.
Yeah.
The back, in the back corner, a small,
Well, that's,
yeah.
I think that's what he requested.
Yeah.
Yeah, we figured we have conference rooms now, so.
Yeah,
There's plenty of
a
conference.
lot of conference rooms, yeah.
Good.
And there's a mother's room, so I don't get locked out of my office when one of the mothers has to use my office as the mother's room, because it was the only place they had to go.
We'll have an ADA compliant town hall. That'll be wonderful. Yeah.
Has there been any discussion of the destruction of the building, the existing building?
We talked about that at the permanent building committee, and they're requesting a cost for that. They're requesting a cost. What we discussed was that both projects are under budget right now, and if it's gonna be possible, I'm not even sure, I don't even think I asked you this yet, Mike, is if they say they both remain under budget the way they are, we're talking, 600,000 plus 600,000, if that could be used towards the demolition, or if you can only use the portion from
Yeah.
town hall for that.
Yeah, you can't.
You can't cross them over, you can't.
Okay, so that answers a good question, but even then, the cost of tearing it down 5 years from now is gonna be astronomical.
Right.
So-
It won't get better.
And are we talking about tearing the whole thing down or just the one side?
No, just up to, if you're looking at where the new brick is,
Yeah.
up to there.
So the plan is still to use that brick side for fire?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, all right, because I think that's a great idea, and they need that, so, okay. All right, cool. Al, yeah.
Senior Center today, or yesterday, it's the most vehicles I've seen on site.
Oh, somebody put
Contractors
fire in
and
it,
whatnot.
yeah.
It should be hung, at least over the past couple of days.
I will say they have a good crew there now.
Yeah.
We were on their case, and the owner of the company called me apologizing, saying, well, we got this job, all our crews were working on other jobs, and we had to find people. I don't care, that's
Right.
not my problem.
But you got the job.
So, they were on like the third or fourth super on the job from the company, but they put their top people in there now, so.
I'm glad to hear it was buzzing, because as of Monday, I think nobody was even on that site until 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yesterday, and I think, I know yesterday, there were tons of vehicles there. There was a lot of stuff going on.
Good. Okay. All right, well, that's good news. What are we looking for town hall opening, grand opening?
Probably September, I would
They
think.
said fully done with everything, landscaping, everything moved in was November, but
Okay.
I think soon.
So fallish.
Yeah.
And senior center was supposed to be, what, April?
It's
That's not
supposed to be substantial completion.
That'll be
yes.
around the same time.
Okay.
But I think you're looking more into the summer.
Okay. All
And if
right,
it's not completed on time, then we can take back funds, so that's
Oh,
not a gift.
very good. All right, cool. Any other questions on those building projects? All right, thanks for the update from the PBC as well. And then, Barrows Court.
So Jared, as you probably know, he removed the tin pipe that was out there, and he created a nice drainage swale. He did not get to where he's trying to get rid of the invert from the pipe that comes out from Barrows Court out to where the swale is. He still thinks that's a choke point, and last Saturday, oh, he left. Last Saturday, I was down there around 2:30, and then the deputy was there at 5:30, said everything looks fine. And then I said, well, wait till that line comes through at 8 o'clock. Okay, doesn't look good anymore. You know, backed up again, and it was up to 17 inches deep. I noticed Sunday when I was down there, I don't think the dam is the problem, because the river was flowing like crazy. I feel bad for that house that's on the other side of Barrow Street, the trailer.
The trailer, yeah.
It was in the back, I was with Sean, and he actually checked with the owner to make sure everyone was okay. And she said she'd been there 8 years and never saw it like it was Sunday. So today, the conservation agent went down about around 5 o'clock, and so looks like it was starting to back up to the catch basins again. So Sean set up a shuttle running 6:30 to 8:30 today, and then they'll be out there in the morning again. Hopefully it doesn't get like it did last Sunday, but he figured we'd work on it anyway. So they're still continuing to look at options that they can do to improve on it. Not giving up on it.
Okay. All right. You guys have any questions on that or comments? Yeah. Al?
Sure, that choke point that Jared can't get to, is it because it's still saturated? Just can't get a machine?
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
I can't believe driving around town, how many yards have ponds.
It's everywhere.
There's an area right, I don't know if you go down Bay Road at all, but the area that is on Blueview's property, there's like a little, it ponds up there.
That's a lake.
It is like a lake now. It's really crazy. That sort of shows me how crazy this.
Sunday when I was driving in, Rockland Street in Easton was shut down. Elm Street, there was like a river going down the street.
It was across Union the other day.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
And then
And
driving
flowing
by,
across.
driving by the dam on 106, you had to have your wipers on because the water was just spraying everywhere.
That's wild. Yeah.
Sorry.
We need a dry summer. So, somebody said to me today, well, at least we're not in a drought anymore. I said, well, I don't know if that's the case, but it might be, for all I know.
Right.
But yeah.
Next thing will be mosquitoes.
It's just been historic, so. Yeah, do you wanna come up? Come on up and introduce yourself?
Sure.
Yep.
So hopefully we're not hearing anything about not having to not use hoses sometime in summer, right, with all the.
Yeah,
the
right,
water.
yeah. Restrict our water use. So
Yeah.
just give us your name.
Yeah,
and address, please.
Pat Maloof, 16 Barrows Court. So the communication has been better over the course of like the past couple weeks, which has been great. You know, we completely 100% appreciate the fire department doing what they're doing, and everyone else doing what they're doing. The problem that we're still running into a little bit, and it happened on Saturday, is that there wasn't any proactive communication about any shuttles or anything like that. And so folks, I proactively moved my car because knew what was going on, but there was no talks about a shuttle at all until Sunday morning. And the question was, okay, well, where's the shuttle gonna take me if my car is still here? So that, again, not an issue with the fire department or anything like that, but that's a problem in terms of communication with the residents of the town, of that street.
Yeah.
And the same thing tonight. I mean, we proactively had to reach out about it. And I'm not sure if we would have heard anything if we did start doing that.
Okay. Is that the parking area that's on, I forget the name of the street?
Fordham.
Yeah, is that sort of always set up at this point?
No.
It's not?
That's the designated.
yeah, like the parking area, right, for the residents.
Yeah, but there isn't always a sign. Sometimes if you go there, you have a line of cars and, you know.
Right, cause I know there was a sign there that said like, this is the temporary parking area.
It's not always there.
It's not, okay, thanks.
We'll have them leave it there.
Yeah, I think just leave it there, right? I mean, just make sure that that's constantly roped off.
Yeah.
Or, you know, demarcated for folks.
Because we don't know, like we don't know when it's gonna flood. We don't know when that's gonna happen. But over communication is better. Like, I'd rather be over communicated with than not at all. And then in the middle of the day, I gotta remember, yeah, it's gonna rain tomorrow. I have to contact the town and let them know what's going on.
Right.
This is a problem that again, I don't wanna rehash everything.
Yeah.
But like, we cannot continue to kind of live like this on an ongoing basis.
Yeah.
And there's a problem that the town needs to take care of at some point with something. We just like some more proactive communication going on.
Okay.
I said it last time, I'll continue coming here and saying it again. We appreciate what's gone on with shuttles and whatnot so far.
Yeah.
But the communication has always been started with from our side on everything.
Yeah, because I know on our end, I mean, I've seen the emails coming in saying, you know, there's a storm coming in, you know, we should be, you know, so I think the communication is happening internally, it's just not happening.
Yep.
It sounds like it could improve, let's put it that way,
Yep.
with you guys externally, so.
Especially since we got the list of contacts too.
It's an easy lift now.
Yeah.
It's easy.
It should be, right?
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
now we get 2 rainstorms where it hasn't happened.
Yeah, so Mike, like tonight's a good example, so can we just blast out an email to everyone and just say, it's, you know, might be time to move the cars?
Right.
And the
So it's-
shuttle will be coming, you know, from whatever time?
So it's been done,
Yeah.
but only after a proactive email that went out.
Right.
So we don't know if there's a shuttle that's being offered. We have to ask
Yeah,
like in advance. And to be honest with you, we all have things going on in our lives. I'm sure everyone else does as well. But this is part of, I don't know, I'm gonna call it the highway department's job right now to start to figure this out and start communicating with us more effectively.
I think it's fair to ask.
I would think
proactive
you'll see
communication
us
out.
doing that when we know we're gonna get an inch and a half or more.
Yeah.
It seems like it can handle that when it gets above that, you're gonna get a problem.
So-
It's now, if you have more than one storm in a week, it's a problem.
Right.
I actually thought I saw an email about that, but it was actually your email that I saw.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah,
So,
saw your email.
I didn't see one before then.
So unfortunately, the fire chief left, but I thought he said last time that, the number that has been being used could be called, even if they haven't like formally set up a shuttle service, so they would still go get you if that number was called. I could have misunderstood.
But I think he's saying if
100%.
the forecast is, I mean, like, the forecast was gonna be 2 inches of rain anyways, so I think he's looking for proactive, just saying, hey, it's gonna rain, you might wanna move your cars. For a shuttle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If we set up the, if it starts raining and they haven't moved their vehicles yet, and it starts backing up.
It's too late.
They're causing,
Yeah.
they're at their house.
Sunday morning was too late for folks.
Well, then you get into this false sense of security, sure, right, that like, if the storm's passed,
Yeah.
oh, it's probably
Oh, no,
not,
it's
gonna- and
bubbling
then
up.
it just
It's
comes,
bubbling
it
up.
comes
It
up.
gets worse
Yeah.
after, like,
Yeah.
as it rains, it gets.
So it'll be bad tomorrow
comes
morning.
up. It'll be bad tomorrow morning, folks gotta get to work, et cetera.
Yeah.
Was there, I know you want to speak, you can come up and speak for a second. Just one more thing, sorry. Has there had to have been so maybe you're the one who could speak about conservation or whatnot, because, I thought he was going to be coming to these meetings, or showing up to the meetings.
John Thomas.
Yes.
Yeah.
But have been here 3 times and he hasn't yet. And so I don't know if you guys can
Yeah,
speak to that.
this line item here was just on the town manager's report, he was just letting us know what was
Okay.
going on.
Yeah, I
So
didn't-
it
I didn't
wasn't a
understand that.
discussion.
Yeah,
about it,
okay.
Yeah. And before you sit down, though, I actually have a question for you. You were the one that got the email list together and everything?
I did not.
Okay,
No.
I thought it came from you.
It,
Okay.
it did come from me, it came from another resident. I
Okay.
just have been utilizing it.
Okay, no, that's fine. Because I was gonna say it would be good to get a list of, names, house numbers, and,
So, I think-
just for the fire department, if there's any issues, they can.
I'm pretty sure
they know
whoever
who's-
had it sent it out
Yeah.
to
I think it was just an email list.
Okay. Well, she collected, whoever it was, collected also the addresses,
Oh,
so
oh,
I'm sure she
perfect.
has it.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
okay.
Yeah, come
Thank
on. Yeah. Thanks, Pat. What?
I was only gonna say
Just introduce yourself and your address, please.
My name is Melanie Masuda. I live at 10 Barrows Court. First, I want to say thank you in regards to Michael Mayer being elected to be a constable. He's my dad.
Oh,
So I want to say thank you to you all. So he's very gracious. The first thing I was going to say is the phone number that was provided for the shuttle bus, that actually is a it's a phone number that's not always used by the fire department. So part of the problem that we encountered today was that we were messaging that phone number and nobody was getting the messages because it's an extra phone. It's only checked when the shuttle is actually currently in use, which is utilized by us obviously, but it's put in place by the fire department. So they didn't actually know that we were texting that phone until today when they were like, oh hey, we got Pat's email, so go from there. So that phone number didn't really help us when we were texting it because nobody checks it frequently. The other thing is that he did state to call him, Mr. Simmons?
Simmons, the chief, yeah.
So we ought to reach out to him if we actually need any assistance prior to, because that phone number, again, is not currently used by anybody in particular. And the only other thing I wanted to correct you on is that it wasn't 17 inches, it was 20. So it was marked at 20 inches over the last weekend, so it was higher than even you were told. And that was told to us as I drove in the shuttle bus, fire truck with the gentleman, so it was 20. Which
Yeah,
is
we got it,
Gave you
extremely
the
high.
list that the guy was.
Yeah, he was scratching it
Yeah,
down.
they're
and
marking it off.
we got the email too when we said, and Jared had gone out and removed the pipe or whatever, and I'm thinking, well, maybe that'll help.
And that is the highest number that we've had on record, and that was after the work that he did
Yeah,
trying to
yeah.
clear the way, and it has actually been worse than ever.
Yeah.
So that's the only point I wanted to add.
Yeah, something Mike put in our packet too, and I'm sure he was gonna say it, but Norton is definitely #1 in Massachusetts for rainfall totals and
I believe it.
the entire state.
I can see it.
It's not a record we want, but we're number
Yeah.
one for the month of March.
Yeah, so even after put forth the efforts to clean the pipe, we've seen them out there as residents, we drove by and we saw them out there. But the water, yeah, again, worse than ever. 20
I know those guys, the highway department is, I would not say just as frustrated as you, because I couldn't
They don't want
imagine.
the added work.
But no, not even the work, no, they're frustrated that they can't fix it quickly, because those
Yeah.
guys, I know them, and they wanna get it done.
Right,
And so I know they're very frustrated too.
quite a process.
Not at the work, at the fact that it just keeps going up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was all I had to say.
We're gonna continue to do updates and improvements and all of that. I do still want to talk to John though about, like, I sent him some information on grants. I think I copied you on that. You know, what are we doing also in the medium, long term, to try to see if we can get some kind of resolution to this for the neighbors, so. But yeah.
The other thing on that list that the guy was keeping track was amazing how fast it goes down once it starts going down, just.
Proceeds very quickly.
Yeah. All right, what is this phone number? Is this like somebody's cell phone number or
I
is it?
noticed late this afternoon, Sean had the orange phone.
Okay, so it's just like a special
Yeah.
phone for him,
Yeah, He
okay,
didn't have it until,
okay,
Specifically, it says it is a spare phone from the fire department.
okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, well, maybe that's just part of the prep for when we know storms are coming, is to make sure he's got the phone.
Carrying
somebody there.
carrying on.
Yeah.
Hopefully it dries out sooner than later and able to get that choke point done, and hopefully that will do
Yeah,
it.
I wanna talk to John too,
Nature
because,
needs to cooperate.
Or a second fall pipe too.
yeah, I wanna talk to John too, just cause I know he mentioned at our very first meeting, just, you know, upstream, you know, other towns and dams and what are they doing and all that kind of stuff, just to see if there's been any progress on that front
Yeah.
too. And again, I don't know if the town's gonna agree to, you know, hold their water up and create flooding on their end. Who knows how that all works, but, just to get an update from John, I think would be good.
I did talk to John, he came to my house the other day.
Oh, did he? Okay,
Yeah.
good.
My husband and I met with him briefly to discuss the issues, and he did say that the dams in surrounding towns are affecting the water flow in Norton and causing
Yeah.
us a problem.
Yeah.
He mentioned that Barrows Court unfortunately only has one inlet that has the water to be removed from the street. So even though it's at the beginning of the street where that bend in the road is, it's obviously not good enough. So back in the 70s when the development was built,
apparently they didn't have enough, knowledge in the piping of the area, and specifically by my house, Barrows Court 10. There used to be a stream that went under the street and it comes out in my backyard. And you can see that there's water on both sides of the street that collect right there. So it goes underneath, but it's not leading out to anywhere, it's just pooling and going downward down the hill. So the only inlet for the water to be let out of the pipes under the road is where it exactly floods. So the problem is that there's not enough many areas during the street as you go forward down it where water can come out of. So basically it's a matter of piping needs to be done in order for the water to be taken out, because back in the 70s it wasn't a thing.
Yeah.
He said he got all the plans from the zoning board, I think it was, where
I don't know.
Yeah.
When they put the development in?
Yeah, so he got all the plans for the properties and everything like that, so he knows more about it. He knows a lot about it, actually. He's pretty helpful in understanding it all, but again, we're only one family that he's gotten to talk to.
Yeah.
So I just feel like maybe it would be nice if we did hear from him as a whole, so that everybody could be involved.
Yeah, it's really good to have all that information, right? Because
Yeah.
it's like then you understand,
We do
we
get
all
a little bit
understand kind of
better.
what the bigger picture problem is. That's
Right.
not saying we can't, do what we can do to rectify it, but it
They
does
don't-
kind of at least give you that bigger picture of what's happening.
He did mention that he's not exactly sure whether or not it's the dams that's the problem, it's the fact that there's nowhere for the water under the ground to go. Because there's only one little section that has
Yeah.
stormwater,
Yeah.
Yeah. The water's gonna go where the water wants to go.
and that's flooding in the street.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
All right. Thank you very much.
Sure.
Thanks for coming in.
thank you.
All right. Okay. That's, does anybody have any more, reports or mail?
Motion.
All right, Steve.
I approve the warrants as written.
And
Motion to adjourn.
next agenda is for select, will be,
One quick thing, I
Yeah.
can just remember, reminder that the Easter egg hunt is Saturday.
March 30th, 2:30.
yeah, Saturday. Mayor will be there.
At Wheaton College something, right?
Peter, where is it gonna be?
He'll be at the Wheaton College Chapel at Dimple.
All right. There you go.
Thank you. Glad you remember that.
That's why he's here. That's why he's here. All right, okay, so, at our next meeting will be the joint meeting with the other two boards. There is a motion to adjourn. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Peter, I saw you.